As we get deeper in the Howard Terminal Ballpark project, I'm quickly realizing there's two aspects that the general public may not be up to speed enough with yet. And so I want to help bridge that gap. The first is location, where this ballpark actually sits. Maybe I'll do a separate video on this later, but I really don't know if most people who have an opinion on this project, if they actually know where Howard Terminal is. Like more than just, oh, it's on the waterfront. It's on the estuary. It's around Jack London Square. I mean specifically this plot of land. I've walked it. I know what it looks like. I know what surrounds it. And I want to share that with people. I hope that's something that they can get a little bit more information on to see what the benefits would be if this project comes to completion, how the rest of the neighborhood and everything else around it would greatly benefit. That's one part of it. The other part is this: how the Oakland A's plan to pay for this project. I mean, it's literally written out in black and white. Here's the final 2 pages of the term sheet, but I know people talk about this stuff a lot. I'm just not sure if they've actually read through this. So that's pretty much the entire video. That's what I want to do here, is read through Exhibit F of this presentation, which is dated April 23rd, 2021. So it's the Oakland A's financial plan, and it goes like this. The Oakland A's financial proposal to the City of Oakland includes a privately funded $1 billion plus state-of-the-art ballpark that will serve as the permanent home of the Oakland A's of Major League Baseball. Key terms of the financial proposal are as follows. The Oakland A's will privately fund an architecturally significant, LEED Gold, state-of-the-art ballpark of more than $1 billion. The Oakland A's will privately fund or contribute public art valued at $15 million. The Oakland A's and the City of Oakland will enter into a non-relocation agreement ensuring long-term, sustainable revenue in the City of Oakland. The Oakland A's will fully fund all on-site project costs through private financing and project-generated revenues, including public parks, protection against sea level rise, and environmental remediation. The city will establish 2 infrastructure financing districts, the Howard Terminal Infrastructure Financing District and the Jack London Infrastructure Financing District, which will be a source of project-generated revenues for the ballpark project and the City of Oakland. The proposed footprint of those IFDs is set forth on the map below. Let me break for just a second, because that's a lot of reading, to show you that map below, because as I talk about this, you're going to realize there are some differences in the numbers. I just want you to see the size difference here of what's in red. That's the Jack London IFD, Infrastructure Financing District, and this is the Howard Terminal IFD right here in gray. So significantly smaller, but we'll get to that in just a second. Okay. Project-generated revenues from the Jack London Infrastructure Financing District are estimated at $1.4 billion. Again, project-generated revenues. Of that, $360 million is to be used to fund an off-site infrastructure, separation of pedestrian grade, vehicular grade separation, bike lanes, railroad safety improvements, sidewalk improvements, and intersection improvements. So that's $360 million of it. $1.04 billion in city and community benefits, specifically $280 million to community benefits such as affordable housing and off-site infrastructure, and the other $760 million to the City of Oakland's general fund. That's the Jack London IFD. Now on to the Howard Terminal IFD. Project-generated revenues from the Howard Terminal Infrastructure Financing District are estimated at $860 million. Of that, $495 million are to be used to fund an on-site infrastructure development costs. To fund all on-site infrastructure development costs. For example, environmental remediation, seismic improvements, backbone utilities, sea level rise improvements, sidewalks and streets, more than 18 acres of parks and open space, and a Bay Trail connection. As well as $365 million in city and community benefits, specifically $170 million to community benefits such as affordable housing and off-site infrastructure, and $195 million to the City of Oakland's general fund. The full project development investment is estimated at $12 billion, including $450 million in community benefits and $955 million in general fund revenues. The Howard Terminal build-out will create more than 35,000 new jobs and $7 billion of new revenue for the city of Oakland over the useful life of the stadium. Okay, that was a lot, and it's deep. It's saying a lot in not a lot of words. What I want you to do is, if you don't understand any of that, just rewatch the video. It took me a few times to ultimately grasp all this at the very beginning. And that's all I'm hoping to do here is pass along what exactly this is so you're informed on the subject.